Hey, party people! Welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, an RPG podcast built for two. I am your host, as always, Jeff Stormer. This week I'm joined by writer and comedian Gregg Gethard as we explore the Kingdom role-playing game by Ben Robbins. Kingdom is a game about communities and people in charge of those communities. It's a game about power and big decisions and the ramifications of those decisions and the way those decisions ripple back onto those in the community. So naturally, we used it to tell the story of two disgruntled employees at a trashy Caldor in a rundown mall in New Jersey. We get very silly with it, but the game itself is fantastic and supports not only our nonsense, but it can support a much more serious style of play as well. Check it out. A link to the game can be found in the show notes. I'm putting a slight content warning on this episode and marking it as not safe for work, just because we throw pretty dark at some point. Bob with 2Bs and Jamie are not good people, and I just want you to be aware of that as you listen to the episode. Interested in coming onto the show? Shoot me an email at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. And with all that out of the way, let's throw it over to me in the past so he can get started with the show. Take it past me.
Thanks, future me. This week I'm sitting down with Gregg Gethard. Greg, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well.
Greg, why don't you introduce yourself to the listeners at home, talk a little bit about where they might know you from.
Yes, my name is Gregg Gethard. I live in Philadelphia. You may know me from I'm a man about town, a Rankin-Tour, if you will. Comedian, writer, journalist, type person. Some people know me as the Gregulator. Know me from the best show, from calling in to that. And just that kind of scene.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Alright, well this week we are playing a game called Kingdom by Ben Robbins. It's a game about communities and the people who sort of lead those communities, and how leading those communities changes those people. It's really interesting. It's one of those games that has two-player rules, which I really like. Ben Robbins enters the Party of One Hall of Fame for that, which is a thing that I'm inventing right now. So I think we'll just dive right in, because the first thing we're going to do is define what our kingdom is.
Okay.
Our kingdom is basically just a community of at least 20 or 30 people. There's no upper limit. It can be as big or as small as we want. We had talked a little bit before, like in email, about doing something fairly low stakes or mundane, which I kind of liked. Are you still on board for that?
Oh, yeah, 100%. The more mundane, the better.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking something either... Oh, I'm sorry, you had...
Oh, yeah, no, because I used to work for, like when I came out of college, I worked for weekly community newspapers. And I was a municipal reporter in these small towns in North Jersey, and Plymouth, Massachusetts I worked in, and Lansdale down here. So I've always been very intrigued and amused by small town power jacking.
Yeah.
And people, like, one of my favorite types of people for comedy purposes and comedy material are people who get the tiniest shred of power
and just goes right to their head.
Goes completely bonkers with it.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite type of villain is that type of person.
You and me both. Yeah, I think that's perfect. So I think I had two suggestions, and if you have another suggestion, like, feel free. I was thinking either to that end, like a retail chain store, or like a school PTA or a school board. Either one of those.
Like retail store, it could be like TJ Maxx.
Yeah, something like that. And then it's just like the people that work there and the low level management.
Oh, this is so mundane. I think this is so mundane.
I think that's what we're going with. Like,
I love it.
Yeah, like a retail store. We'll say it's in a mall.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next thing we're going to do, now that we have our location, is we're going to pick out 3 threats, things that might mess with that location or the people that work there.
Okay.
So either external things or internal things. I'm thinking...
This is so much like my MBA class. It's insane.
I'm thinking the first thing should be... since we said it's like a store in a mall, like a TJ Maxx, I think the first thing just has to be that the mall is barren. Like...
Yeah. I'm totally picturing this mall right now.
Yeah.
It's like... It'd be like on the outskirts of like Patterson, New Jersey, or something, some rundown
God,
town,
I've spent
Upper Darby
so much,
somewhere.
I've spent so much time in those malls in my life. It's not even funny.
Yeah, there's like the TJ Maxx is on the the anchor store, and there'll still be like a Blockbuster Video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I drive by that exact mall on my drive home every day.
Yeah,
It is.
like Granite Run.
That's the one I drive by.
Yeah.
So you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I love these type of malls.
Yeah, so that's the first one, is just the threat of foreclosure is just always there.
Looming over your head.
I think the second... do you have an idea for a threat, or...
I think a good idea for a threat, maybe, if we're doing, like, TJ Maxx, right across at the other end of the mall is a Kohl's.
Ooh, yeah.
Literally the same exact store.
Yeah.
Literally the same exact store.
And just their deepest rivalry for non-existent
Actually,
uses.
instead of this being a TJ Maxx, I'm going to pitch out another idea.
Sure, go ahead.
There was a department store chain in North Jersey and some other mid-Atlantic states in the 80s and 90s, and there was one in my town. It was called Caldor.
Okay.
And role-playing as a Caldor lower manager at Caldor is literally a dream come true.
All right, then let's do it.
Yeah.
That's what we do on Party of One. We make dreams come true.
And this place was like, I saw on 3 separate occasions workers arrested in the store.
That's what I like.
Oh, you know where the cops won't find me? Work.
So that's like Caldor's like a Sears-y type one, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
So then I think the rival store just has to straight up be a
Sears. Yeah.
Because it has to just be better. Really, really, truly. I think that.
And like Sears was like 10% better.
Yeah, just enough that they know.
Like Caldor is where my family would run if I needed like sweatpants for gym class.
Yep.
Sears is where we'd go for like back to school clothing.
Yeah. Oh, this is bringing back so many Jersey memories.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, this is a trip down memory lane.
Like the Livingston Mall.
Okay, yeah, and then I think the third threat, because you just mentioned it, is like low-level crime. It's just, kids being vandals, occasionally a pot deal happens somewhere in the store.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the
there's a great video online of an old Caldor. What do they call the theft prevention department? Asset protection?
Asset protection, yeah.
Some genius put online, like, a 1989 Caldor asset protection video on YouTube. I've watched it. If there's 1,000 views, I've watched it 988 times. Because it's like workers hiding behind, like, reenactments of actors hiding behind boxes, like, looking at women in the store and stuff like that. So low-level, but I like the low-level crime in the store.
Yeah.
Like,
stuff
like
happening.
A worker might rob you while you're working and then go back to work.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we're on the exact same page. That's going to be great.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, so now that we've got our threats and our store, the next thing we're going to do is put together a few locations in the store, in the direct vicinity of the mall.
Okay.
These are places where setting happens.
Okay. So these are places in the mall?
Yeah.
Or our store?
In the, I think either or. We can go either way. I think if you have ideas for stuff that's in the store, and these are just going to be where, like, scenes happen. Where stuff happens.
Okay. In the mall, I think one scene should happen in the recycling fountain.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
by like, where there'd be, like next to the General Tso's chicken.
Yeah.
And the fountain, it doesn't work anymore because change clogged the filter. So, and Canadian change.
Yeah. I'm going to add a detail.
So smells.
Yeah. I'm going to add a real life detail from my hometown shitty mall, which is that there is an insanely elaborate statue, like, on top of that fountain that no one can explain. Because I grew, in Mount Holly, where I grew up, there's the Burlington Center Mall.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar.
There's the trash fountain, and there's an insanely elaborate statue of an elephant.
Okay, I was thinking it was gonna, like, maybe our statue. It's of like a former councilman.
Yeah,
but for some reason he has wings.
I'm on board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horns and wings.
Horns and wings. It's like it's a real Old Testament look. Oh yeah, it's great.
Okay.
Okay, so what I feel like the food court. Or no, I'm going to go inside the thing and say the employee break room. And it's just terrible. Like, trash is just scattered around. The soda machine doesn't work.
Or just sell Surge.
Oh, yeah, that's... Yep. Surge.
Surge. Surge.
Surge and like Doctor Thunder or Mr. Pibb or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm down. I'm down with this so far.
Okay. So
and like, there's like a poster of an eagle.
Yep.
And it just says like, "I am smiling."
Yeah.
And it's like a stern-faced eagle.
Yep.
And that's the motivational poster.
That's the motivational poster.
It's a threat.
Okay, give me one more location, and then I'll come up with one more, and we'll be all set.
One more location.
Yeah. In the store or in the mall in the mall in general.
Oh, in the mall in general. How about we got to go with a Spencer's Gifts.
Yeah.
And Spencer's Gifts, and that's where like the quote unquote cool kids work.
Yep.
But of course, like the cool kids are like at Spencer's are all like people who have like giant spacer earrings and are more of our ilk. A lot of magic playing.
A lot of magic games
but
happening.
But they're the bullies of this store. Hey, you work at Caldor?
Yep.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Yep. Cool nerds.
Yeah. Or what's like, yeah. Cool
nerds.
nerds. Yeah. Like big Kevin Smith fans.
Oh, no, yeah, there are so many Kevin Smith posters in that Spencer's Gift.
Yeah. A lot of hockey jerseys worn. Let's see what else.
Yeah.
Like the managers has like a ponytail but an inexplicably hot girlfriend.
Yep. Okay, so for the last scene, I'm gonna say
this is my favorite thing I've ever done in my life.
This is the last thing I'm gonna say is going inside the store again. I feel like the manager's office that was that was a changing room and has now been like there was like a series of changing booths that they had to like take the walls out of. So it's just the saddest little manager's office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is really good. So we've got
we've
got 4 locations. We've got 3 threats. Now we're going to make our characters.
Okay.
So the first thing we're going to do is each of us is going to choose one of the 3 roles, which I will go over briefly.
Okay.
There's you can either be in power, which you tell the store basically when we come to a crossroads. When a question comes up, the person in power is ultimately the person to make the decision.
Okay.
And it'll be a yes or no question, but the person in power is the only person that gets final say on it.
Okay.
The perspective is the person that has a unique insight into the possibilities of that question. So they're somebody that has some sort of ability during the scene. They can predict what happens, like in that scene.
They're like a Caldor soothsayer.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. And then the touchstone is is a person who is representative of the community at large. So for here they would be like a Caldor employee. And the thing about a touchstone is whatever their attitudes are, they automatically become the attitudes of the community at large.
Okay.
So if your Caldor employee is not happy, no one in the store is happy. If they love their job, employee morale is through the roof, and no one can figure out why.
Oh, I have no idea what I want to do.
Do
I want to be like the evil Caldor boss, or do I want to be an absurdly like someone who thinks this is the greatest job they'll ever have in their life is like stocking Hanes underwear long johns poorly?
Well, I think I am going to be... And I should point out, this is where I'm going to point out...
Well, we need someone to be the power person, right?
Yeah. Oh, and there's the 2 things I want to point out is your role can change in a few different ways.
Okay.
Like, you can change your own role. If you're playing the touchstone, you're playing the happy employee, and you want to take power, you can
a coup.
Yeah, you can essentially stage a coup or whatever. Or I can, at a point in the game, overthrow you. If I decide I want to be touchstone, I can, like...
Okay.
And there's negotiation that happens there. The other thing is that, like I said, there are 2-player rules for this in the rulebook. But the main thing is, there's 2 people, but there's 3 roles, which means that whatever we choose, there's always going to be a gap in one of those 3 areas.
Yeah.
So that's the important thing to remember. Now, I think I am going to... be a perspective.
Okay. I'll start as power. I'll start in the power role.
Okay.
Especially now that I know that there's tomfoolery.
Yeah, there's going to be some tomfoolery that happens.
Yeah.
So now that we've got that, now we start to think about who we are and how it ties into that role and the community at large.
Okay.
So let me ask you, who are you that has a position of power within this Caldor in this New Jersey backwater mall?
Okay, all right. I'm gonna base this off a manager I had at a supermarket. I'm gonna go by the name Bob with two B's at the end of it. So BOBBB. And should I just get into this character? Hey, check this out. When you stack the Bubblicious by the register, make sure it shines over the light, because you want that light. You want that blinking fluorescent light to really reflect off the pink wrapper to catch the customer's eye, because we get a 1-cent margin on each and every Hubba Bubba purchase a customer makes. So check it out like that, alright? Alright, cool, numbnuts.
I hate this guy so much. I love it. I love it. I love how much I hate this guy.
I can't believe I'm role-playing this. I can't believe I'm role-playing this. This is a dream.
Yeah, okay. That's great. So go ahead on where it says name on your character sheet and take whichever pen or pencil you like. Just go ahead and write that out.
Bob with two B's.
And then make a mark on power.
Okay.
Now, as perspective, I think I am going to be I'm the assistant manager.
Okay.
But I think because I'm the assistant manager, I have, I handle, like, the bookkeeping and things.
Okay.
So I have a handle on that. That's how I have sort of an ability to be like, if we do this, this is what happens. Is because I've been, and I think I'm going to go by Jamie.
Okay.
And I think I'm an old man who thought he would be manager by now.
Yeah.
He's a heavy-set old man who thought he would be manager by now. He's got a thick mustache.
Yeah.
And he wanted to be manager by now. He thought that he was going to get it, but you do your job. That's what I was told. That's what I was told growing up. You do your job well, and you get that reward.
Well, Jamie. Look, Jamie. I'm sorry I took night classes at William Patterson University, New Jersey. Go Pioneers, right? I put in the time. I put in the time to take a management class at William Patterson University and also University of the Phoenix. It's an online university, but you live in a dorm.
Oh.
But William Patterson mostly.
Yeah. Jamie. So Jamie's the perspective because Bob is like the manager and oversees things, but Jamie is the one doing so much of the work that he has the ability to be like, if we do this, you know what's gonna happen if we do this.
Hey,
so that is how I have perspective.
Hey, chop, Jamie.
Yeah, all right. Okay. So we've got who we are. Now we choose either from these 4 locations, or we can add more locations, where you're normally found.
Oh, where am I normally found?
Yeah. Where does Bob spend his day?
I'm gonna go with, even though I'm the manager of a Caldor, of the 4 locations, I'd like to spend... Hey, there's a really hot piece of tail at the Spencer's Gifts.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think
Rebecca with an H.
Yeah, I think that actually Jamie
thinks she's great assistant manager material.
Oh, come on, son of a! Do your job, Jamie.
Take a deep breath and back up, Jamie. Hey, look.
I think Jamie spends all of his time in the manager's office doing the work that Bob isn't doing.
Yeah, because Bob's over at Spencer's.
Bob's over at the Spencer's. Yeah, yep, that's
talking to a 17-year-old.
Yeah. So that's okay.
I love your hoop earrings, Rebecca.
So the next thing that we fill out is you have either a wish or a fear about the Caldor itself. Something that you either want to see the community of the Caldor employees and the company like achieve, or something you're afraid is going to happen. For Jamie, he is 100% afraid that this company is going to fold. It's going to fold before he gets that opportunity that he's worked for.
Yeah. Okay. My Bob's wish is 75% success rate that all of our fluorescent tube lighting will work without blinking.
I think that's a good yeah.
We gotta get these lights fixed, right?
Before my promotion. Yeah. Which it's not even a thing of, like, if I get promoted, it's when, because I'm doing the work.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that I've been doing the work for a decade at least. Okay. So we have 2 more things to fill out of our characters. an issue. What's holding Bob back?
God.
So many things.
Oh,
but
God.
Pick one thing that's holding him back.
What's holding Bob back? Oh, my God. You go first. I gotta think of this.
I think the thing that's holding Jamie back is Jamie refuses to confront people directly.
Okay.
I think that
poor eye contact.
I think he internalizes everything.
Okay.
He just takes his licks and he thinks, if I take my licks long enough, I'll get the promotion. That's just easy.
Yeah.
So that's what's holding Jamie back.
Yeah. I think what's holding Bob back is he's always had a dream of being a bodybuilder.
Yeah. Yep.
And he's never been able to achieve his dreams. He went to a camp hosted by Nitro from American Gladiators, and he just has never been able to. He's just never been able to be a professional bodybuilder.
So his failed dreams are holding him back. I like that a lot. Yeah. And so the last thing that we need to fill out for our characters, now that we have a pretty good... I feel like we have a really good picture of them, so this should be easy, is we're both going to write down something different here. That's another one of the hacks that the game has made for two-player play, is we're going to write down a sense of duty or relationship to each other. How we sort of relate to each other in our day-to-day lives.
Okay.
So I think that...
Poorly,
yeah. Generally poor. I think they're both going to be poorly. I think it's... I think Jamie sees Bob as warming, it's his duty to get Bob to see the work that he does without making waves.
Okay, no wave making.
I want Bob to see what I can do. I think that's my bond.
Yeah.
So how does Bob relate to Jamie?
I think Bob sees Jamie like a half brother.
Okay. All right.
Not like a brother you like though.
Sure. Yeah. No, I got you.
Not like a sibling you love.
Like a sibling, like an obligation sibling.
Yeah. Like it's a sibling where your parents split up late in high school and you have to move into a new home and you're constantly jockeying with this half sibling for some kind of bunk. I want top bunk. I used to have my own room. Now I have to have a bunk bed, and I'm 16 and a half. I want the top, Jamie.
He wants the emotional top bunk. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, there it is. All right. So, now that we've got our characters really well fleshed out.
And also, one more character detail.
Sure.
I frequently wear this t-shirt to work, which is highly inappropriate. I have on. It's a Ted Cruz for America shirt. But I pair it with a Making America Great hat.
Oh no! Okay, yeah.
And I'm constantly in the break room harping on conservative memes.
Yeah,
all my political knowledge comes from political memes.
Yeah,
and
yep.
Things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm an avid Redditor.
Oh no! Of course he's on Reddit. Yeah. We love you, Reddit.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we've got that, we've written out starting cards. So after every scene, it can go one of three ways. Either nothing can happen, which time passes.
Time is passing in Caldor.
The Caldor moves towards a crisis, which we will define when the card fills up, or we move towards filling out one of our crossroads, which are the big decisions that come up.
Okay.
So now we fill out the, now we get into the actual game itself, so we're going to fill out our first crossroad. Unless you have a particular idea for a big decision that the company has to make, I'll go ahead and take that, unless you have one.
Oh, no, you go for it.
Okay.
You go for it.
I think the question is, will the Caldor restock for a cooler audience? Will the Caldor rebrand?
Okay.
I think
we go Caldor go edgy and hip?
Yeah. Will we try to embrace...
millennials.
Yeah. Will we try...
we're trying to be Caldor for millennials.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the question. And you're cool with that?
Oh, believe me,
okay.
I'm cool with that.
Then that's the question. Now we set the scene. I'm gonna go first, which is why I have this WWF Canadian flag. It's
Okay.
on a hockey cue.
Okay, I get from the Heart Foundation.
Yes.
Set.
So I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna set a scene to say what my character thinks or does about this, about the decision to rebrand. The background being that the Caldor is the Caldor. There's nobody coming in other than drug dealers and scumbags.
Yeah.
The Sears across the street. It's like they're getting people every day. People walk in, they're like, "Oh, I see a Sears. I gotta go to the Sears."
The hip Sears.
Ugh.
That hip cutting edge Sears.
Yeah. So
All
Jamie,
those like indie rock dryers.
So I think what has happened is they have gotten a set. They've gotten like a folder of ad materials. And it's cool, but it's cool for a Caldor. So I think what has happened is Jamie is like looking over this, and Bob is nowhere to be found, and Jamie's just like flipping through it, like,
Yeah.
what do I do with this? I can't.
Like the catalog, like it's got like pictures of like soccer balls with like MLS logos, like the Union logo. Yeah.
I can't do anything with this. This is, and yeah, I think he's just staring at it. I mean, if we do this, we're gonna have to So okay, yeah. So he's flipping through it. He's furious. He doesn't want to rebrand. He's like, Caldor's a family brand. We should be appealing to families. We can't be appealing to these hip kids. We're not hip kids. Caldor's not a hip brand, and that's okay. So I think what's gonna happen now is, as I am the perspective, when I'm in a scene, I can predict the consequences of the crossroad.
Okay.
I can choose one thing that will happen, as long as I'm perspective, this will happen if we fill these checkboxes. So I'm gonna say...
Can I just say real quick for the comedy purpose of this, right?
Yep.
So, and what would you describe this, like the explainer or whatever? Like the player's
materials,
manual? That explains what the perspective does. It gives an example of what we're doing here, and it says, will the kingdom go to war? If yes, we will suffer huge losses. So this is how, like, I'm guessing in most versions of this game, it's about, like, war and invading countries.
And we have settled on...
how small our stakes are is whether our Caldor will rebrand to compete with a Sears. Oh, this is the greatest night of my life.
That's the world we live in. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to say is, if we rebrand, we will have to rebrand every 6 months.
Every 6 months, there's like a new youth focus group survey.
Yeah. Every 6 months, we will have to rebrand.
We ask local teenagers come to the break room, sit down with a surge.
Oh, they have what they have. Oh, you know what they have is they have the kids out in the mall with the clipboards. Like, would you like to answer a few questions about Caldor? Yeah. That's what. It's every 6 months we're going to get another survey because they got another person to say.
We'll give you 10% off.
10% off your purchase of
MLS.
Oshkosh.
Yeah, Oshkosh Bagosh.
That's got to be still a thing.
Elastic waist, Oshkosh Bagosh jeans. Because that's exactly what I would get at Caldor.
Yep.
And the best thing about the Caldor in my town would be like the shame if you got caught there.
Yeah.
Like you'd run into your friend there.
And you'd be like, crap, now.
Yeah, you'd run into your friend there, like, oh, what are you doing here? And you'd be like, oh, my aunt got me something from here and I'm returning it.
Yeah.
No. And you'd be like, no, are you shopping here? Are you getting clothes here?
This is the most painfully familiar thing that I've ever...
Yeah.
This is awful. I love this and I hate it all at once. This is wonderful. This is the best. Okay, yeah. So now what you can do is have a short, like 2 to 3 sentence reaction as to where Bob is, if he's reacting to this, if he reacts to this, what's his stance, what he's seeing, what he's feeling.
Yeah. Hey, so check this out. I think we should totally go to rebrand Caldor as an edgier, hipper company, and I think I can convince Rebecca from that Spencer's to come on over and be the voice of the Caldor Millennial.
Oh, no. Yeah, okay.
Rebecca with an H. She's the one with the hoop earrings.
Yeah, I know the one with the hoop earrings. You talk about her a lot. I know the one with the hoop earrings.
The cool belly button ring that looks like fish bait.
I've never looked at her belly button. It feels inappropriate. Yeah, I bet you have.
I've seen it.
I bet you have. Okay, yeah. Yep, that's...
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now what happens is we advance one of these cards.
Okay.
Do I think... I'm gonna say we're closer to the decision of whether we're rebranding or not. I feel like we have our stances on it. I feel like we're making progress towards that. So we mark one of the checkboxes, and what's going to happen is when we fill out these 4 checkboxes on any of these cards, when we fill out all the checkboxes, that thing happens and it resolves.
Okay.
At which point we decide if we want to keep going, introduce another crossroad, or if that's game.
Okay.
So we've marked our first one. So now what happens is I'm going to hand you the WWF Canadian flag.
All right, I'll hold it like I'm Owen Hart.
So you get to dictate the next scene along the way. Whether that be the next step that Bob takes towards rebranding.
Yeah.
Or if it's just, if it's just him... going about his day-to-day, you get to dictate whatever the next scene is as we make progress towards whatever.
I had a request on Facebook.
Okay.
And I'll incorporate it from
Sure.
my friend from home.
Sure.
Who is a Caldor aficionado like me.
All right.
My friend Chris. What happens next, along the way, as we rebrand, we are trying to bring in the youth millennial.
Yeah.
So we encourage teenagers to come into Caldor. And what happens is a group of these teenagers, we find them taking our aforementioned ML Major League Soccer branded soccer balls. They rip them out of the Real Salt Lake boxes, and they're riding them down the escalators violently, and they're scaring our old customers away who now we're having teenagers falling into them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where does the scene happen where Bob is reacting to this?
What are our 4 choices again?
We've got the recycling fountain.
There. Recycling fountain.
Okay. Is Bob by himself? Is Jamie with him? What?
Bob is there lecturing the teenagers who have been known to rip apart San Jose Earthquakes gear and vandalize the store with it.
Now, the thing to point out is, since you are the power, when you're in a scene, so in this, you can use your authority to make the kingdom do something either to me or just in general.
Yeah.
So you have the ability to exert authority over these teens that are causing mischief.
Okay.
And bringing more of these low-level crime into our store.
Yeah. All right. So, Ken, are you essentially gonna be the teenagers right now?
Yeah. If you want me, go. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, numbnuts. We're gonna need you all to stop kicking around the soccer balls, okay? Now check this out. Before I went to William Patterson University of New Jersey in their 2-year executive MBA training program, look, I haven't finished yet. I still got 3 classes to go. I know that. But before that, I was an aspiring bodybuilder, and I was attempting to enter in regional competitions, and then I messed up my back. And I always wish I had a mentor like me. So I want to mentor you teenagers. As opposed to kicking around soccer balls in my store, we're going to go to the weights. And we have a whole section in sporting goods, in the sporting goods section, where we got those 10-pound weights. I'm going to train you to be bodybuilders. I'm going to train you to be youth bodybuilders.
Listen, old man, if you're not going to sell us weed, get out of here. Got no time for you.
Hey, I'm about healthy living. We got some great food at the snack bar in the Cal. Hey, there's some great food at the Samurai Grill.
Samurai Grill.
Right, there's some good sushi. California rolls, that's a lot healthier for you than the weed. You start doing that and you start following me, you're going to have pecs, you're going to have decks, you're going to have peaks, you're going to be freaks. And you know that girl Rebecca at Spencer's? Well,
Is she the one with the belly button, Bert?
Yeah.
I know Rebecca.
How do you know Rebecca?
I think that's where the scene ends. Oh, I think that's where the scene ends, because that's the perfect ending right there. Okay, so now you get to mark which of our 3 things we have advanced towards. Has the Caldor advanced towards crisis? Has nothing happened and is time just passing? or are we closer to the decision of whether or not we're going to rebrand this Caldor?
I think time has just passed.
Time is passing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I am going to take back...
Just another old day.
Well then I am going to take this back, and yeah. Then I think what happens now is that the next scene is back in the store itself. More of these teens keep showing... Now the teen... You know what I think has happened? And shoot me down if you don't think this is what happened, but this is what I feel like what's happened. I think he's given at least one or two of those kids low-level jobs.
Oh, yeah.
Now they're just...
trying to mentor these kids.
Yeah, and now they're, like, actively, like, selling drugs in the store. It's just...
Yeah.
It's just...
It's exactly what happened at the actual Caldor.
So he's just... So I think the next scene is Jamie with Bob in the manager's office, trying to convince him to not mentor these kids.
Okay.
Bob, listen, okay, Bob, I know you're my boss. I respect that. I would obviously never step out of line.
You better, numbnuts.
I would never. You really love saying numbnuts? I think it's great. I think it's a funny thing to say. But here's the thing. I caught one of these kids you hired. His name was, he called himself Sea Dog, but his name is Chaz. That's what it says on his name tag.
Yeah, I know.
It says, Sea Dog?
Oh, yeah. I met him I met him by the Bourbon Grill at the food court. The Cajun place.
Yeah, he mentioned that. He mentioned that that's where he got that job.
Great honey glazed chicken.
He was, I found this, and Jamie drops a dime bag of marijuana. I found this. He was trying to sell it to one of our customers. The old lady, he kept insisting that she had cataracts. She doesn't have cataracts. I've spoken to her. She's a lovely woman. Her name is Florence. Anyway, I don't know if these people are a good fit for our organization. They seem to be... I'm just going to come out and say, I think they seem to be criminals.
Hey, check this out. I was once one of those kids. When I worked at Caldor, when I was a kid, you know what me and my friends used to do?
What's that?
We used to have those cassettes. Those cassette boxes?
I remember cassettes.
And those white, like that white plastic thing we used to crack those open, we used to whip each other in the eyes with them.
That sounds horribly unsafe, but I'm not judging. Hey, there's no judgment.
And we became okay, I think these kids are showing an entrepreneurial spirit selling weed. I agree it's illegal, right? And my political hero, Ted Cruz, I believe he's come down against legalization of weed.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
I don't know about that. Reddit is conflicted about that. The Ted Cruz Reddit page is conflicted about that. But I think you just gotta let this go, Jamie. This isn't your fight. This isn't your fight to fight.
Okay, no, you're right. Okay.
Damn right,
you're right. You're right. I'm gonna go run the books. I'm gonna go take a break. It's getting heated. I'm sorry. I get out of line. I'm sorry for that.
Why don't you go take a quick dip in the recycling fountain?
Okay. So I think what happens at the end of that scene,
okay,
is I think my character is going to change their role.
Oh, okay.
So I think I'm going to become a touchstone going forward.
Perfect.
And what happens when you change a role is I show a short scene in which I demonstrate how I've changed the role. I think we see a brief montage of Jamie, like, in the break room chatting with the older employees, the old guard, if you will.
Yeah. To, like, a Green Day song?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
And they're all, like, smoking, and their hands are shaking. Meanwhile, we just see more and more, like, security cam footage of the teens just wrecking the store. And Jamie's, like, talking to people, and he's getting angry. He's getting more and more confident. Yeah. He's becoming the person that he wants to be. And then, but I also have to show you...
It's like that cherry bomb by the... Cherry bomb!
Yeah. He's getting... The final shot of the montage is he comes in without his tie on.
Whoa! That's like, rips it off? Like, I've had it!
Like, we get him in the mirror at home, and he's doing the tie, and he's like, no. And he just undoes it. And then he buttons up the Caldor vest slowly over it, but he's just not wearing the tie.
Yeah. Okay.
But the thing and then I also have to pay a price. I have to leave something behind. I think what I leave behind is, I think I have moved away from doing the responsibilities that Bob is supposed to do.
Okay.
And I think that is causing corporate to, like, come... Well, no, I'm not allowed to dictate that far ahead. I think the thing that I've done is that I'm no longer the guy to, like, do the work.
Yeah.
I think that now...
You're no longer, like, the person I'm just dumping all this stuff on. You've shown insolence.
I've shown just a little bit of backbone, and I think that's going to just ruin me.
Yeah.
So I've passed the baton to you.
Okay.
Now you can dictate the next scene.
We're headed towards a crisis, right?
I was undeniably going to mark that as a crisis.
Yeah.
The store is in shambles, and if we keep going down this route, we are going to go through one of these before the store falls apart.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you get to dictate the next scene.
Hey, Jamie, come into my office.
Yeah. What's up, boss?
All right. So the patio furniture. I want to know why it's cracked, damaged, and scattered everywhere, and why I've had complaints that people are using the broken, jagged edges of Kenmore grill leg, of the leg of a Kenmore grill, why they've been using it to have a stabbing fight.
You want to know why?
Yeah.
You want to know why? Here's why. Sea-Dog and his little cronies, his little piece of shit cronies. Yeah, I said it. I said shit. It's 2016.
What? No, you can't talk about Sea-Dog and J-Rock.
J-Rock.
You can't talk about them. I'm their mentor. I'm their Vishnu.
Let me ask you something. Who do you think is having the stabbing fight, Bob? Who do you think is having the stabbing fight?
Who?
It's Sea-Dog.
Why are they having...
Sea-Dog and J-Rock had an argument about which Korn album was the best album, and they had a stabbing fight. These kids have opinions on Korn albums, Bob.
What the... They gotta grow. That's not happening. That's not happening.
Listen, I don't mean to,
You gotta come down on them for me.
I'm not this, Bob. You're the guy. These are your mentees, man. These are your proteges. I can't be the one to do this. I'm just saying, this is what we're dealing with if we rebrand this store. We're dealing with stab fights. We're dealing with broken furniture. That furniture's a big driver. That furniture is a big driver here. I'm just saying, that's what we're dealing with. You bring these kids into these stores, we bring up this fancy advertising, then every 6 months, our seasonal merchandise is cracked and broken.
Now, oh man, I gotta find out from Rebecca, because I know...
Speaking of which, you've hired her, she's been here 3 weeks, I have not seen her do 1 ounce of work.
Now, I know, here's the thing, I know Sea-Dog's, his favorite Korn album is Issues, released in 1999. But J-Rock's, it's The Paradigm Shift, which came out just in 2013. And I'm afraid to apologize to one of them, because Rebecca, she's more of a Follow the Leader fan. I don't know which Korn album she prefers.
Listen. The thing that we need to address right now, between you and me, Bob, is that Korn released an album in 2013.
Yeah, they did. The Paradigm Shift. It no doubt marked the paradigm shift for all of music. And I'm gonna find out more about the Paradigm Shift. Alright. See there? Follow the Leader, Issues. Then came Untouchables in 2002. Who could forget that? Take a Look in the Mirror. See You on the Other Side. Then they had an Untitled album. Then they had something called Korn 3, Remember Who You Are.
Oh, Korn 3.
2011, The Path of Totality, which was released on Roadrunner for some reason. And then The Paradigm Shift. I'm going to tell you some of the songs on this.
Just
Never Never, Spike in My Veins, and Hater.
Those are
the 3 singles.
Those are Korn songs, I'll tell you that much.
And Hater was a World Tour edition only.
Oh, okay. Listen, Bob, I'm going to level with you. You need to handle your shit. And I think that's where we call the scene. I'm going to say, unless you really feel like... Well, it's your call. You get to say whether we move towards a crisis or towards... I feel like we move towards one of these two. So I'm going to let you decide which one of these two things we moved towards. Did we make progress towards making the decision, or is the crisis getting worse?
Oh, the crisis is getting worse.
All right.
Now Bob has entered into this existential crisis, trying to determine He's trying to pick which Caldor employee to come down on based on what later day corn release is Rebecca's favorite.
Okay.
So that's a crisis in the making, because he's running all his... Now I'm talking about the Bob psychology here, if that's okay.
Sure. Go for it.
Bob is filtering all of his decisions about how to ultimately rebrand Caldor through a 17-year-old girl with a navel ring that looks like fish bait. She's obviously dating both...
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Both Sea-Dog and J-Rock. And I chose the name J-Rock because once when I was driving around, after a night going to a Caldor to shoplift, me and my friends were then driving around a park, and we heard this guy on a payphone. We heard this girl on a payphone. Mm-hmm. She, threw down this payphone in anger, and then turned to, one of her friends and said, "J-Rock ain't calling, yo!" Which became, one of my favorite things I've ever heard in my life. So, J-Rock is who I'm envisioning with this.
Yeah. Okay. So, the next scene...
So, Rebecca... He's trying to figure out who will piss...
Rebecca off. But
the least.
It's going to piss Rebecca off either way.
Yeah.
Okay. So, the next scene...
Because she does not give one lick about Bob. Just taking this Caldor sweet Caldor 7 an hour...
So, I think what has happened... I think the next scene is... I think this is just Jamie by himself. I think corporate has been coming down on us because we've been having reports of damaged merchandise. We've been having reports of crime. They've sent a rep down. They've sent a rep to the store.
Uh-huh.
I think Bob is dealing with his stuff.
Yeah.
And even though Jamie has been trying to let Bob sink or swim...
Yeah.
Now that he has this confidence, he still finds himself doing the work.
Yeah.
He can't get away from that.
Yeah.
Poor Jamie cannot get away from that, even though it's his own fault.
Alright.
So I think what has happened is a corporate rep has come, and Jamie is going to try and have a meeting with him to showcase that, this is what happens if you try and rebrand the store.
Okay.
And, also try to maybe throw Bob under a bus to get that. Get that. Yeah.
So I'll be the regional manager now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Mr. Kohiki, thank you for coming.
Just call me Doug.
Doug, you're right.
Just call me Doug.
Appreciate it.
Or Kyle, that's my middle name.
Kyle, you know what? You sound like you prefer Kyle.
Either way. Nah, Doug. Kyle. No, we'll go with DK.
DK.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, that's
DK.
what
Listen. I wish that Bob could be here, but...
Oh, yeah.
But I gotta be honest with you, there's some major personnel conflicts, and I wish I could say they weren't related to this rebranding effort, but, Bob saw it fit to, I guess you'd say, hire some younger employees, bring in some younger blood, and you've seen the reports, you've seen what happened, you've seen what's been happening. These young kids, they come in, they don't have respect for Caldor as a brand. Do you know what Caldor as a brand represents to me? DK?
What does it represent to you as a brand?
It represents real relationships. We have friendship with our customers. We are not just that store in the mall across from the Sears. You know who doesn't care about customers? Sears.
Now, you are correct about the Caldor. You have read the
front to back
the branding insert in the new employee manual.
Front to back.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate that kind of initiative, Jamie. I gotta say that's a rare type of initiative that we're seeing from a 59-year-old employee.
I love my job.
I can see that. I love our job too. However, Jamie, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did you know that right now, within the Connecticut, Westchester County, New York, New Jersey, and Bucks County regions of Pennsylvania alone, there are 2.9 billion millennials?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That seems very high, but I'm not doubting you.
2.9. That's just what our focus research group has told us. We have to. They're the future, Jamie. Do you believe the children are our future?
I do. I have to believe the children are our future.
I'll ask you this.
Go ahead.
How do we become friends with them?
I don't know. I feel like I think we have to take a harder stance than what our friend Bob is taking. I think that we have to put a little bit of heat on these kids. They can't be running wild. We need to find a way to engage them without engaging them on their turf.
You know what? This reminds me of my own family. I used to not have I didn't have a good relationship with my dad, DK Senior. I didn't know him. We didn't see eye to eye. And then my dad, he started instilling in me cruel and harsh discipline. Punishments in the high school driveway, parking lot. I used to have to do push-ups in front of my classmates while he would scream at me. We'd go to the supermarket.
Sounds very traumatic.
But it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Well, let's use that.
And now DK Senior.
Yeah.
He was the best man at my second wedding.
I eloped
my
I'm sorry,
first
hold
one.
on. I'm choking up just a little bit. Oh, then let's use that. Let's use that energy going forward. DK, it was a pleasure meeting with you.
Jamie, I want you to instill a military form of discipline
I can do that.
into these kids as an assistant manager to make them your friend.
I can do that. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the end of that scene. And I think, first and foremost, I'm going to mark, I think we're making progress towards the rebranding decision.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I get to do as the touchstone, because I am the voice of the employees at the Caldor, I'm a man of the people, is I can additionally check or uncheck, I can remove a check from the crisis, thing.
Okay.
So I think what I'm going to do is say that Jamie is checking. I'm trying to decide if I want to add a check or remove a check for these kids, this military discipline that Jamie has gone in and enacted. I'm going to say I'm going to remove one.
Okay, remove one.
I think that's
definitely remove one. I was going to say let's remove one.
Yeah,
so
I think that's
because I want to do a thing where I play a kid who loves being disciplined.
Yeah, alright. Well, you get to set up the next scene.
Oh, okay.
You can set it up with Bob, you can set it up with Jamie, you can set up whatever the scene you want.
Now, I'm gonna be... Can I be... Alright. I have a good idea.
Go ahead.
I don't know if it's within the rules of this game.
Go ahead.
I would like to be an outsourced sensei
Okay.
that Jamie is secretly meeting with. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm adding a location. I know.
Okay.
I'm sure I figured it's loose game rules with this.
Yeah,
right?
no, you can add locations at any point,
Right.
yeah.
There's a karate dojo
Yeah.
in the mall.
Okay.
Okay? And Jamie has secretly met
Okay.
with the sensei. Okay?
Yep.
Sensei Ron.
Sensei Ron. I was gonna posit that it was gonna be a Ron or a Ron or a Dave or something.
Okay.
I'm glad that we're on the same page about this guy.
It's a Sensei Ron, and Ron and Jamie are now negotiating to get Ron on board to discipline these Caldor people.
I think I like that.
Okay.
I like that. And then we'll have Bob react after that.
Yeah.
Well, even better. We'll do the negotiation as a reaction.
Okay.
A short reaction. Why don't we see let's see. I think let me know if you want me to change any of this, but I think what I'd like to see is Bob's reaction. Is Bob reacting to when Jamie and the sensei, having already negotiated, show up and start instilling classes in these kids.
All right. So you're Jamie now.
Yeah.
All right. Or the sensei. Who do you want to be?
I want to be Sensei Ron.
All right,
real
you be
bad.
Sensei Ron.
All right.
Hey. What's going on in here?
Cool it, friend. We're friends here. I'm sensing some negative energy here. This is friendship.
I recognize you. You're that sensei.
I'm Sensei Ron. Sensei Ron's Tiger Karate.
Yeah. I recognize you from. I've seen you from the.
You may have seen me in an episode of American Ninja Warrior. I did not pass the exam.
Yeah. I
But,
remember
you know,
you from A&W.
I felt I used my Tiger Karate. I passed 2 obstacles. Yeah, that's right. 2.
So what are you doing over here in Caldor?
I'm here because your assistant manager, James said to me that I was going to come and instill my brand of American Ninja Warrior Tiger Karate discipline into a few of these kids. We're going to be doing some exercises. We're going to be doing some kata. I'm going to we're going to teach these kids. We're going to make sure that these kids have body discipline, mind discipline, and here's where Tiger Karate is different. Here's where Sensei Ron style is different. Spirit discipline.
Hey, numbnuts. Check this out. Those kids are my kids. Those kids are the Caldor kids. They're the youth of America. They're on top of them, learning the ways of regional retail. They're becoming bodybuilders, one muscle group at a time. I'm their body hero. Those kids worship my body. Rebecca worships my body.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I say Sensei Ron from Sensei Ron's Tiger Karate.
All right. If you want to do this, we'll do this.
Me and you, the fountain.
Okay. Yeah, I think, you know what? I feel like we don't even need to see Jamie and Sensei Ron negotiating. I think what we need to see is Jamie at the fountain, just like sitting back and he's just watching.
It's like winner take all karate battle. Karate man versus bodybuilder at a mall fountain where the winner becomes the manager of a Caldor.
You know what? I think Bob wins.
Want Bob to win?
I think Bob wins this fight because here's the thing. I think Bob goes like either straight for the eyes or straight for the nuts. I think
like talcum powder.
I think he throws talcum powder in
bulk baby powder.
I think he throws baby powder in his eyes, and I think that's what I think that. So I think Jamie's watching, and he's like sitting back, and he's sort of smug at the moment because he's like, "Yeah, this is gonna go great."
Yeah.
He just threw talcum powder. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Braun's down. No, Bob can't win this. Bob can't win this fight. Oh no. And all the employees around him are like, Jamie, you said that Ron was the guy. You said he was the guy. What happened? I don't know.
Hey, Jamie, you just see what I did to your sensei friend? How he's busy crying, washing out his eyes in that mall fountain water, begging, imploring for mercy?
That water's filthy. He's gonna get a disease.
He's gonna get impotent.
Why would you throw talcum powder, Bob?
Because that's how you win. That's how you win fights, Jamie, and I won this fight with you. You don't think I know you went over my head? You don't think I get that? I got that asset protection report?
You know what? You're right. I went over your head, and that was wrong of me, and I apologize.
Jamie, you like Caldor? You love Caldor?
I love Caldor. I love this job.
You think you're a touchstone of Caldor?
I do. I am the voice of the people here.
You and all your coworkers who went above my head, who rallied behind Sensei Ron. If you want to keep your jobs...
Yeah, I do. I want to keep my job.
You are to hail me right now. You are to kneel before me in this mall food court and swear your eternal allegiance to Bob with 2 B's. I will lead you through this sacred oath.
All right. Here's what's going to happen. I am going to first. I'm going to do 2 things because in Kingdom I have 2 options here.
Okay.
First, I'm going to challenge I'm going to challenge the actual kneeling and pledging of allegiance by saying that. So I'm declaring that that's the challenge that I'm making.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that he's just going to be like, I'm not literally kneeling to you. That's ridiculous. Just, accept that we're on the same page. We're on the same team, literally, and we'll move on. So I think, you get to decide something. You as the player.
Okay.
Not necessarily the character. You get to decide something. You can decide if that's enough to make it work, if Bob backs down when he's just like, I'm not kneeling to you. Or you can say no. Well, you can say yes, no, or yes, if. You can specify that it has to be some additional step taken for him not to kneel down and pledge allegiance.
Okay. You don't have to kneel and bow before me, your godhead.
No, I'm not calling you that, but okay.
If you get Rebecca to agree to go on go on a date with me.
That's
I want her... No. You know what I want to do? Jamie, I want you... See, I love that girl. I love that girl.
I don't think you do, but okay.
I want you to convince her to meet me by my car, the Kia Sorrento. Me and her, we're gonna finally... I'm gonna tell her how I feel about her over a burrito bowl from Qdoba. I want you, Jamie. I want you to make me a burrito bowl, a Qdoba burrito bowl that will allow me, a former bodybuilder, ex-William Patterson University in New Jersey,
Go Pioneers.
NBA candidate, Go Pioneers, and Caldor manager, a burrito bowl that will... See, that's the thing. My failed bodybuilding career, I've never said I love you then. I want to say I love you to Rebecca with an H from Spencer's Gifts. Make that happen, Jamie. You're my avatar.
I will see what I can do.
That's why I've always counted on you.
I will see what I can do.
You have emotional intelligence.
Okay, yeah. So, the reaction is... I think that Jamie's reaction to this scene is... I think Jamie's reaction to this scene, to, like, the final note on this scene, and then we get to advance one of the cards, is we just get a shot of him, like... We get an overhead security camera shot. There's no audio. Jamie's talking to Rebecca.
Yeah.
Explaining it, pointing to the crane. And then the next shot we see is another security cam shot of Jamie kneeling in front of
rather than doing this in front of all of his coworkers in a mall.
He's just
like, yes!
He's like, it's not worth it.
No, Jay.
It's not. It's too far. You know what? That's too far. I'll kneel. It's fine.
I'd rather do that. I would rather do that.
Oh, yeah, okay, you know what? Then you can decide, are we closer to a crisis? Are we made progress towards rebranding now that Bob is the unquestioned leader? Or has time just passed?
Let's go with time passes.
Okay.
Time passes.
Okay.
With this one.
Okay.
I still think we might have a crisis ahead. As Bob has sworn full allegiance. I mean, Jamie has sworn full allegiance to Bob. But I think... this should eventually... I mean, I definitely think this eventually does have to end in a coup.
I think
a coup has to come.
I think that's literally the next scene,
right?
Is I'm going to overthrow you.
Yeah.
I think we cut to about a week later.
Yeah.
Where Jamie has been his loyal subject and him doing what he said.
Yeah.
And things are just worse across the board.
Yeah.
The kids have taken over.
Hey, numbnuts. I need you to swipe. I need you to clean every one of these lockers. Again.
Okay, that's fine.
6 a.m., that's the first thing you do. And 1 a.m. when you go home, that's the last thing you do.
Okay, no, I can
You
do
got that?
I got it, boss. I got it.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think that I'm going to stage this as an overthrow.
Okay.
Well, no, actually what it is I'm going to start the scene. Since it's my turn, let me see what it says. Okay. Yeah, I think this is the overthrow. Okay. I think the overthrow is Jamie in the break room, and the kids are running the store now, and the store is fallen to pieces. And I'm going to preemptively check one box off of Crisis. And I think what happens is Jamie just is delivering the speech that he's been meaning to deliver for about a decade of Bob's got to go, right?
Yeah.
We all hate Bob. That's just a point fact.
Jamie, you are the voice of reason around here. You've been our touchstone.
I know.
I've never been able to say anything to him.
Okay, you know what? This day is in the break room, but I put in a call to HR. I've reported him. I've reported this whole thing. I reported the thing with Rebecca. Listen, I'm sorry that I asked you what I asked you, but we're going to make it right. I'm going to make it right with you, Rebecca. And I think that's really all the scene is him, just explaining and being yeah, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm going to stage an overthrow.
Okay.
So the way overthrow works is I off the bat take the power, become power.
Yeah.
So I think the next thing that happens is I describe how I overthrow you.
Okay.
And I think what it is literally you're called into the manager's office. And he's sitting there with an HR... Jamie's sitting there with an HR rep.
Okay.
And then the door just closes shut.
Okay.
And that's
And Bob's in there?
Bob is invited
Okay.
in by Jamie and an HR rep.
In my office.
Yeah.
Jamie, behind... I think Jamie's behind my desk. Feet up.
Yep. And the HR
arms
rep...
akimbo.
The HR rep has the briefcase, and he's just standing behind him. He just looks...
A big folder.
Yeah. Okay, so now you get to decide, since you're in power, you can choose either yes, that you choose a new role from the 3 roles, or yes if, at which point you get to decide the circumstances that have to occur for me to fully take over.
Okay. The circumstance for me to take power is the HR rep, in order for me to not be fired and terminated immediately, is making me take a literal blood oath. Mm-hmm. I have to go to kitchenware.
Okay.
And get a knife set, Corning knife set. Okay.
Yeah.
Slice
your hand.
Slice a cross into my hand, a cross into my hand. Let it bleed, and place my hand upon the Caldor new hiring booklet.
Mm-hmm.
And swear myself to the Caldor Millennial brand.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. Does Bob do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Then the scene ends. Mm-hmm. You get to choose one of the other 2, either perspective or touchstone. So Bob either becomes someone who knows what's going to happen.
Okay.
If we do or do not rebrand, or Bob becomes a touchstone himself. The only thing is you can't stay at power.
Okay, I'm gonna go with perspective.
Okay. Yeah. So now I pass the thing to you. We have 2 points in crisis and 3 points in rebranding. So if we make progress towards rebranding, then we can. Then I think that the one crossroads is enough for this episode. So I think that'll be good.
Yeah.
So if we make progress towards that, you can also so you can dictate a scene where Bob's new status quo, and as you're doing so, you have the ability to say one thing that will happen if we do rebrand, or one thing that will happen if we don't rebrand.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
I think what happens if we do rebrand, stick with me for this one.
I'm in.
It's a huge success.
Yep.
Caldor has captured the hearts and minds of the youth shopping market.
All right.
It goes from piece of garbage department store to something that's a little bit like Urban Outfitters meets...
Sure.
Forever 21 meets... it's cool with skateboarders.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a half pipe in the store.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and write that down.
Yeah.
That if we rebrand, the store thrives.
Yeah. But it doesn't just thrive. Okay?
The store reinvents itself.
Doesn't just reinvent itself. It becomes it slowly buys out other companies.
Okay.
Right? And it becomes not just the leading retailer in the country. It becomes the equivalent of E-Core and Mr. Robot, where all commerce,
everything
all
is Caldor.
commerce happens through Caldor. All your banking, all your lending, everything you need to, every type of financial, any exchange of good and service comes through Caldor.
Caldor becomes the cyberpunk dystopia.
Yes.
Okay.
And Jamie runs it.
Okay. So what I want, and I'm going to suggest the scene, and if you want to do a different scene, let me know. But I think because we want to have a scene where Bob sees how we're going down this road.
Uh-huh.
So what I think it's got to be is Bob talking to one of the teens who are suddenly really into, they're suddenly
into their job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I ain't calling you Sea Dog anymore.
That's fine. My name is Chaz. That's
Chaz.
what it says on my name tag.
You are Mr. Chaz to me.
Mr. Chaz. Wow.
Right.
What
Chaz.
a cool name.
Yeah. Chaz.
Thanks, Mr. B.
Thanks. Look, I know I've tried to make you a bodybuilder. I know you may or may not have dated Rebecca with an H. It's all water under the bridge.
We're engaged now. We made it legit.
Congratulations, she's a great girl. I've just had to let it go. I've just had, I am so glad you and we've both found our true leader in Jamie. He, not me, he deserved this. He unleashed this potential. And now he sits on top of the Council of Elders. He sits with the Council of Elders and dictates the course of the world. Not just Caldor. Not just our seasonal displays. Not just how we're going to stock the Gatorade. How we're going to stock bulk Gatorade. Not whether we're going to put IAMs or Purina cat food on the lower shelf or the higher shelf. He determines the outcome of wars. He determines the fate of world religions. Jamie is all powerful. Jamie is all seeing. I am so glad I get to serve his empire here at this small Caldor.
Well, I'm really excited about that, boss. That got a little bit extreme for me, but I'm excited for you.
You are at the foot of history. You are at the foot of history, Mr. Chaz. You are sworn. You are sworn to the Council of Elders. Jamie, he can control time.
All right, yeah. I think on that note, so I think that we're ready to mark the fourth box on the rebranding decision.
Yeah, it was success.
So, okay. So now we resolve the crossroad. So the following steps go into resolving a crossroad. First off, and we already mentioned this, we decide if this is the end game for the game, and I think we agreed on yes.
We came to a perfect
I think this is a good ending. So what happens now is we set the stage for we read aloud the crossroad and all of the items in the yes and no column.
Okay.
So the question is, will the Caldor rebrand to a younger millennial audience? If yes, we will have to rebrand every 6 months. But the store thrives and becomes not only a leading retailer, but the cornerstone of a cyberpunk dystopia where all commerce is filtered through Caldor.
I think it's now called, instead of Caldor, just Seedor.
Yeah, Seedor.
Yeah.
So, now that I have the power, I get to decide if I'm going to take a yes or a no. So this cyberpunk dystopia has not come to pass yet. It all depends on if the person in power votes yes or no towards putting the poster on the window that is of a skateboarder, like, come to Caldor!
And that unleashes, some, guy with,
Yeah. So it all depends on if the person with the power, which is Jamie, decides
like a dyed faux hawk.
Decides to put that poster up.
Yeah.
So since I have exclusive power, I get to decide if I'm going to do that. And as much as I enjoy the idea of saying yes, I think Jamie's going to say no.
Why?
I think that Jamie doesn't want to have to rebrand every 6 months. I think that what we see is Bob's vision of the future, and Seedor is on every building, and we see all of this, and we see that it would 100% come to pass. Yeah. And we cut to Jamie in Bob's chair, and Bob's name tag is still there. And he looks at the folder, and he's just like, it's gonna be every 6 months. And he just throws it in the trash.
So Jamie just out of pure sloth, from not wanting to have to reassemble displays, decides to give up limitless power.
Yeah.
Limitless and infinite power in a cyberpunk dystopia. Tell me this, though. My original goal. My original wish, do we at least meet that?
I think we did.
The 75% fluorescent light.
Because here's the thing. I think Jamie's not a bad manager. I think that he gets all the light. We get 100% fluorescent light working. Yeah. Maybe 98. Maybe there's just one that they can't quite get. So I think he's a good manager. And the company doesn't fold. Jamie did get his promotion after all. He is the manager now.
Yeah.
So we technically both got our wishes.
Yeah. Just Jamie's more just taking a little more low key.
He just undercut the entire organization.
Becoming the most
Supreme Overlord of the universe.
Supreme Overlord of the universe. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's where Kingdom ends.
I very much enjoy Kingdom.
Oh, that was a fun game. That was great. Greg, thank you so much for coming on Party of One. This has been so much fun.
Thanks, man.
Oh, that has been great. On Twitter, you're on Twitter. I know you're on Twitter.
Yes.
We follow each other on Twitter.
I am on Twitter. I am at Holden Court Pod.
Yep. I will put a link to that in the show notes. Yeah, cool. All right.
I have nothing else to plug. I don't perform comedy anymore.
That's fine. That's all good.
This is gonna be the when is this coming up?
A couple weeks.
All right, never mind, because I'm actually doing something tomorrow night, but everyone will miss it.
I will tweet. I will tweet about it though.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap up with the show.
Awesome, man.
Take it, future me.
Thanks, past me. And thanks again to Gregg for coming on the show. That was amazing. I loved that. You should absolutely follow Gregg on Twitter at HoldenCourtPod. And while you're on Twitter, follow us at Party of One Pod, and then like the show on Facebook at facebook.com/PartyOfOnePodcast. And really, if you enjoyed the show, the nicest thing you can do is tell a friend. Whether by word of mouth, or Twitter, or Facebook, or by leaving us a nice 5-star review on iTunes. I really appreciate it. Party of One is produced by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank and edited by Jeff Stormer. Music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Mega Ran featuring the D&D Sluggers. Until next time, party people, thanks for listening, and remember, at Caldor, shopping is always a pleasure.